Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. New members of the Chaguanas Borough Corporation take their oath. The Institute of Marine Affairs launches its second edition to guide to beaches and bays of Trinidad and Tobago. And the government's vision of a better healthcare system for TNT is becoming a reality. Thank you for joining us. The new members of the Chaguanas Borough Corporation have taken their oath of office and they are ready to hit the ground running.
Too often we see residents of Trinidad and Tobago and citizens having to protest to have certain demands, basic demands met. And really that is the role and function of local government practitioners, to ensure that the needs of the people, the very basic needs, the box drains, the roads, the lights, local crime issues, those are the issues that you need to be very cognizant of and be on top of at all times.
There is a new council for the borough of Chaguanas that will continue to ensure the needs of the burgesses are met and projects are undertaken in the best interest of all involved. On Thursday, the new council was sworn in at the Chaguanas Borough Corporation Administrative Complex, a historic undertaking, as the members would be the first to occupy the recently outfitted building. Interim Mayor, His Worship Orlando Nagasa, quelled the worries of the new councillors, assuring that they would be working with a competent and capable staff.
In the council, we have a combination of experience, and we also have some people who are there for the first time. I'm sitting with a combination of the experience and the advice that will be coming from the CEO and other senior members of the council. Your navigation should be a smooth one.
He called on the new members to take their job seriously and not to allow burgesses to say that they would not see in their elected members.
If you accomplish, if you adhere to your duties and responsibility, if you serve your burgesses well, you will have no problem. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in some trouble.
The councillors taking the oath of office were Councillor for Charleville, Faiq Mohammed, Councillor for Canupia, Vandana Mohit, Councillor for Edinburgh, Longdonville, Janelle Joe, Councillor for Enterprise North, Esmeralda, Lisa Holder, Councillor for Enterprise South, Ronald Hira, Councillor for Felicity Endeavour, Debidine Manik, Councillor for Montrose, Momina Hussein, and Councillor for Monroe Road, Caroni Savannah, Simeon Mahabir. Taking up their new portfolios as aldermen in the Chaguanas Borough Corporation were Gopal Budan and Abin Phillips. Absent were aldermen Biran Rambaran and Sunil Ramjit Singh. CEO Ashmir Mohammed congratulated the new council and pledged his support and that of his staff.
What we also want to give to you is a pledge from the administration that we stand committed to working diligently alongside this new council as we continue to transform the Chaguanas Borough Corporation from a borough to a city hall. Again, on behalf of my staff, the administrative staff, I want to reiterate our commitment. We are public officers and we work with whoever sits in the hall, and we work professionally, diligently and assiduously to execute all legal mandate and resolutions of the council.
Next on the agenda for the Borough Corporation of Chaguanas is the selection of a mayor, which is expected to take place in the near future. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Government's vision of a better healthcare system for Trinidad and Tobago is becoming a reality, and the North Central Regional Health Authority is the first to feel this sweeping change.
Patients accessing the Adult Emergency Department of the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex will benefit from greater customer service and state-of-the-art equipment. On Friday, Minister of Health, Dr. the Honorable Fuad Khan, officially opened and toured the recently refurbished department. Minister Khan recalled an impromptu visit he made to the department 1 year prior, where he observed a number of inefficiencies that required his immediate attention.
You've seen a wonderful change in the first initial phase of our accident and emergency department in North Central. It has now become patient-friendly, customer service friendly, There is an ongoing pharmacy from 8 to 10 and soon to be 24 hours. There is what we call the Selma registration system, which will be the first start of electronic medical records in North Central. It's a pilot study that we put together.
Minister Khan was especially pleased with the upgrades to the triage area.
Initially, that triage room was a very difficult place to work and a very, as I say, abhorrent area to be in for patients who are coming in that are ill.
Other features include mobile sterile zone air purifiers for the isolation rooms in order to manage infection control, particularly airborne diseases. There is also the addition of point-of-care laboratory services where patients can access immediate testing for clinical observation towards faster diagnosis and treatment. The Honourable Minister said this is the vision of his government with regards to the healthcare service in Trinidad and Tobago.
All in all, we are upgrading our health facilities and moving in a direction of, one, infrastructure development, and also what we spoke about, and you saw a lot of it, customer service medicine and service-oriented medicine.
The customer service training is set to begin in 1 week's time and will last approximately 6 months, at the end of which the entire institution would be hospitality trained and certified. Minister Khan said the cost for the refurbishment was kept minimal as it was conducted in-house and came in at $250,000. Meanwhile, he has asked the chairman of the North Central Regional Health Authority, Dr. Shianas Mohammed, to look at the waiting room and emergency system at the Women's Hospital of the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex to see if it can be upgraded for better efficiency and comfort. He is also looking at the conversion of the St. Joseph Health Center to a 24-hour facility so that triage 4 and 5 patients of the adult department can be moved there to be treated faster. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
When we come back, UN resident coordinator pays a courtesy call to the President of the Senate. Stay with us. As Trinbagonians, we enjoy a good beach lime and saltwater bath. However, having a true appreciation for coastal areas and understanding the importance of our beaches is yet to be achieved among our citizens. It's this reason the Institute of Marine Affairs launched its second edition to Guide to Beaches and Bays of Trinidad and Tobago.
Preserving our sandy beaches and pristine waters surrounding this twin island state has a lot to do with changing the culture among our people and how they treat these tourism hotspots. It's the aim of the second edition of the Institute of Marine Affairs, A Guide to Beaches and Bays of Trinidad and Tobago. The book promotes an appreciation for the flora and fauna surrounding our beaches through colorful pictures. According to Minister in the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources, Ramona Ramdial, beaches and bays play a vital role in our economy and culture.
The average local beachgoer does not seem to recognize the inherent role that these coastal resources play in their quality of life, as routinely evidenced by the garbage left behind at popular beaches after holiday weekends. Solid waste kills fish and seabirds and is unsightly and unhygienic for beach goers. Visitors from overseas know fully the value of a seaside holiday as they deliberately select to vacation here, particularly in Tobago, and thus contribute to our tourism industry.
Chairman of the IMA, Professor Indar Ramnarayan, in introducing the second edition, says these beaches and oceans provide so much more than recreation to us.
The sheer size of the oceans, however, have made them appear to be a limitless source of food, transportation, and recreation, and a place to discard our waste. This notion, together with the fact that there is great difficulty in protecting and policing our oceans, have left them largely as open access resources to be exploited by anyone with the means. Our seas and oceans are under threat, and issues such as climate variability, overfishing, threats to biological diversity such as marine invasives, habitat modification, and destruction and pollution have caused us to pay more attention to our seas and oceans. the solution to pollution is no longer dilution, and even far-off seas which were once pristine are being threatened by pollution.
Partner in the publication of the books is Yara Trinidad Limited. President of the company, Richard de Labastide, says the guide offers visitors to TNT, like citizens and students at home, an opportunity to learn about these places.
This book not only provides our citizens as well as those who visit with a passport to the most beautiful beaches and bays of our twin island, but serves as an essential educational foundation to many of our nation's young people. Wise and conscientious management of all our natural resources is paramount in ensuring that future generations enjoy the magnificent fauna and flora of Trinidad and Tobago.
The professor says apart from providing beautiful pictures, this book will also aid in understanding the dynamics of our coastal areas.
A guide to the beaches and bays of Trinidad and Tobago is in the second edition, as the director mentioned. And this updated version is a book generated from research into coastal dynamics around Trinidad and Tobago, conducted by scientists at the IMA. In addition to its useful descriptions, the photographs provide an excellent reference point for future studies of the dynamics of coastal features and to showcase the beauty of our twin island republic. It is with therefore great pride that I introduce you to this book. I am sure users will find it informative and interesting.
This second edition provides a beach for every week of the year, along with descriptions of the beaches and detailed directions to these sites. Kimberly Ram-Calawan, News 4.
Newly appointed UN resident coordinator Richard Blewett paid a courtesy call on the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. The meeting took place at the Diplomatic Reception Lounge at the Office of the Parliament, Tower D at Port of Spain International Waterfront Centre.
Richard Blewett, resident coordinator of the United Nations Operational Activities for Development for Trinidad and Tobago, paid a courtesy call on the President of the Senate, the Honourable Timothy Hamel-Smith, this week. The meeting served as one for discussion between both parties. Mr. Blewett was recently assigned as UN Resident Coordinator and UNDP Resident Representative to Trinidad and Tobago and newest GEF-SGP National Steering Committee member. He has been involved in several workshops with the Ministry of Planning and Sustainable Development as this country works to achieving the UN's Millennium Development Goals ahead of 2015. A national of the United Kingdom and Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Blewett officially assumed duties in Trinidad and Tobago on April 24th. And apart from his responsibilities here in TNT, he serves Suriname, Aruba, Curacao and St. Martin. He brings over 17 years of leadership experience at organizations such as Help Age International, International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent, British Red Cross Society, United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, and Save the Children Fund. Kimberly Ram-Calawan, News 4.
In other news, Minister of State in the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, the Honourable Ramona Ramdial, chose to celebrate Diwali with her constituents in Kuvan North. During the celebrations, Minister Ramdial issued a reminder to parents on the importance of religion when raising their children.
Minister Ramdial is underlining the role of religious leaders and the effect they can have on young people. She explains that while she understands the draw towards a life without religion may be strong, strict parenting is necessary to keep a child rooted in the essentials of any religion and to ensure the child maintains an acceptable level of discipline.
Religion to me is very important, and because of having strict parents back in the days, we were very much well disciplined. And of course, we were very much involved in our religion as young people. And because of that, our religious leaders instilled morals and values, and they still continue to do so today. But when we look at our young ones today, we see a little departure away from religion and culture. It's all about being inspired by the Western world and the Americans, etc. But I want to say that religion plays a very, very important role in our lives, and especially as young people, from that tender age of growing up, if we involve our young ones in religion, in our cultures, we are sure to have a well-disciplined individual at the end of the day.
The Couva North MP highlights the significance of the Diwali festival and the importance of remaining true to the beliefs and principles which lead to the celebration of Diwali.
Light over darkness, good over evil, and all of the sacrifices that we as a people, through our religious knowledge and through our religious learnings, have followed over the years. And of course, if we forget our history and where we come from, it doesn't make sense really to see the evolution of a people if you forget your history and where you come from.
Minister Ramdayal says that while Diwali celebrates certain beliefs and principles, there are also many more things which we as Trinbagonians can celebrate.
We are very fortunate in Trinidad and Tobago as a society to be living in peace, to have political stability, to not be plagued by wars and famine and droughts. And we are very much geographically placed where we are between the Western and the Eastern world, and therefore we have a fusion of culture. Over the years, we would have seen that our food, our music, our culture, and even our religious practices change over time, again to suit and adapt the needs of our Trinidadian culture and our Trinidadian people.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Sport is up right after the break. Stay with us. We begin our sportscast with cycling news. Congratulations are in order as 22-year-old cyclist Jacine Phillips became the first UCI World Cup medalist from Trinidad and Tobago on Sunday. Phillips copped the silver medal in the sprint, beaten by German powerhouse Robin Forstermann in both rides on the final day of events in Manchester, England. Commenting on the achievement, the Honourable Anil Roberts, Minister of Sport, said, quote, "Once again, Jacine has proven to himself and the world that he's a force to be reckoned with. His performance at the 2012 Olympic Games was his introduction. Now he's a headline act. Congratulations to the young man and his team on this achievement for Trinidad and Tobago. Cycling is definitely one of the podium sports being targeted for the 2016 Olympics. And with the construction of the velodrome in Couva proceeding at a good pace, we can expect to produce more world-class cyclists and even bid to host a World Cup event in the near future." End quote. Switching from the track to the court, Maloney had the home advantage in the third and deciding game of the Ministry of National Security's Hoop of Life Community Basketball Tournament. But Laramine had Derek Boxhill, which will always make for an exciting encounter. Wayne Cunningham has the highlights of the enthralling contest.
Laramine Jet Stars forced a third and deciding Game 3 in the Hoop of Life Community Basketball Tournament Final Series on the back of a 40-point performance from point guard Derek Boxhill. They will need the national team stand out even more when they entered enemy territory to face Maloney as we, in front of a packed partisan crowd who roared as Kevin Backwayne got the first basket of the match and jumped out to an 8-2 lead early in the first quarter. They turned that into a 22-19 lead by the end of the first quarter. Maloney continued to play well in transition. Kevin Noriega with a sweet layup. But Laramine kept close with some big shots. David Smart with 3. Then Alfred goes coast to coast after the steal to keep them close. 40-38 Maloney at the half. In the third, Maloney stepped up their game. Center Sean Lawrence taking it to Laramine with a turnaround jumper. Laramine tried to keep pace, but they were 11 points adrift at the end of 3. 62-51 the score. Then came a drastic turnaround. The Southerners took over in the fourth quarter as this man went on a rampage. He is national point guard Derek Boxhill, and he stunned the Maloney faithful into a fourth quarter silence with plays like this. With just over 3 minutes remaining, the score was 74-65 in favor of Laramine, following a 15-1 run with no stopping Boxhill, who scored a game-high 29 points. As the clock was counted down, it was Laramine with a stunning come-from-behind win to capture the 2013 Hoop of Life title. Box Hill given the honor of grabbing the basket after the 81-73 victory. Team captain Adrian Joseph, who had 21 points on the night, received a $1.5 million winner's check from Senator the Honorable Gary Griffith, Minister of National Security. On behalf of the 2013 Hoop of Life champions, La Romaine Jetsstars. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us. Well, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy and Jill a hot mess. And that's why the staff at GISL took some time to host one of its most anticipated staff events recently.
Culinary skills at the Government Information Services Limited were put to the test at the 3rd annual Staff Chowdown competition. The daily tasks of the state agency were spiced up on Thursday as the various departments of GISL brought out their creativity, team spirit and taste buds with the intention of taking home the Chowdown Challenge trophy. The teams had to prepare their fruits and special ingredients on the spot and set up their stations to mimic their chosen themes. Each group presented 3 chows, without pepper, medium pepper and hot. The first team to present was the Finance Department with their theme Pirates of the Chowdown. The members of that department were clad in bandanas and pirate outfits, even a parrot to complete the entire look. Next, it was on to the Isle of Tropical Dingole, where the judges were treated to a paradise and told that their dreams, if any, would be granted.
We would like to invite you to the Isle of Tropical Dingole. Welcome.
The third team stepping up to the plate was the Marketing and Communications Department with their The Idol Party or DIP presentation. They distributed party cards and took to the political platform to promote their chow.
And today we present the new vision of chow in Trinidad and Tobago.
However, the Information Resources Department used special effects and a song system to amplify their Too Young for Chow presentation, where they mimicked soca artist Marshall Montano and even sang about chow. Last but certainly not least was the News Department with Hawaii 4-0.
Who awakes me from my slumber?
The winners of the 2012 competition brought their A-game as they sought to defend their title. The presentation began with an endearing skit that had members of staff rolling in stitches. The department presented a calm volcano chow, a medium, and an active or hot volcano chow that the judges tasted to their delight. Then, it was the moment of truth. The judges deliberated and came back with the results of the competition.
It has been decided after much deliberation that 3rd place in this year's showdown goes to the Marketing and Communications Department with their D-Idol Chow. In 2nd place, we have the IR Department. And in 1st place, and the winner of the Challenge Trophy, we have the News/Production Department.
We just came first, we just won back our Challenge Trophy. Newsroom, we are number 1 always.
And we're going after the 3rd year.
Yeah!
The News Department received their well-deserved prize and promised another comeback at the 2014 GISL Chowdown competition. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
A tough act to follow and an even tougher act to beat. That's the GISL newsroom. Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Thank you for joining us.